Here we are. We go over here to the game. And it actually is on. Everyone is at the right spot. Hello. Hey, what's up? Deathstroke, how are you doing? Welcome. So, I would like to know what you guys think so we can set a precedent for how we do this in the future. I don't think that we should go through the journals that people wrote over the time because that would take a lot of time. But I do want to point out that they're super cool and I like them. So, of the people who wrote a journal based on the previous session and a journal entry on their character's point of view, which would be Ethan, who's playing Thaddeus, and John, who's playing Gabe, you may each roll 1d10 and you gain that much sanity. If you would like to see those journal entries, which I think is super cool, there is a link in the doobly-doo to my Discord, and the journal entries are very visible for everyone to get.
Nice high roll.
Yeah. I think definitely linking, not reading them is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, good.
Got that. I'll take that 10 sanity. I'll take it.
Damn. Yeah, I'll take the 4. Feeling like a chump.
I mean, it's 4 more than you had yesterday.
That's, well, I mean, that's 1 point off a half.
I didn't succeed on a single check last session.
Oh my god, that's right, you
so
didn't.
I will take the... That's what I'm owed. 10 sanity.
Thaddeus tried so many things and succeeded at none of them.
Honestly, the succeeding was fucking me up because I was tired last time, and then succeeding and everything, I was like, well, I was kind of hoping to fail so that I had some drama, because then nothing was happening.
How are we leveling up our skills? Are we checking them off, or just not worrying about that right now?
That's a good question. A thing that I should have mentioned is whenever you succeed at a skill check, which means that all of you should have some checks except Thaddeus. Whenever you succeed at a skill check, go ahead and put a check mark next to it in your character sheet, and then at a chapter end, a good break, we'll roll for improvements, which will probably be at the end of this scenario if you survive.
Oh, I'd have to go back and look and see what I passed.
I'm doing that right now, actually.
History,
I'm assuming that's
power.
not for our size and appearance.
Yes, you don't get to improve your characteristics by using them. You can't become larger by having crushed a door.
Unfortunate.
Become larger by doing curls. Every day. A month.
What if I curl that door?
Yeah, every day of the campaign, one of our characters is just going to be lifting weights at the start of the session. Make a check.
It's going to be like, it made me think of Rex Murphy from Arkham Horror. Just like this small, squirrely, very studious man, but by the end of the game, he's like Master Roshi, just like super buff. Alright, guys. Let's give a brief overview of what happened last time.
Okay. I can do that if no one else wants to. That sounds like me. Okay. The session started with us talking to some unscrupulous lawyers, the Dodge brothers. I forget which of the brothers we were talking to, but we were talking to one of them at the time.
It was Arthur. Or, no, it wasn't. Walter.
Walter.
A friend of several of our characters and a important acquaintance to others, Arthur, who was a archaeologist and explorer and also an author, had not been seen for quite some time, and that they were wanting to find out his whereabouts, or more likely that they wanted to just get confirmation he was dead or missing so that they could proceed with his last will and testament and dispose of his property and yada yada. We did some cursory investigation. I found out a few things through the library and through exploring the house. We all grouped up at the house. We found a lot of weird stuff in the house. Mainly, rooms seemed to not fit the dimensions they were a few moments ago. Doors wouldn't open and made weird sounds when you knocked on them. And the place was in just general falling apart. We had a confrontation with the brothers. The sheriff showed up, and a newspaper guy showed up, whose name is escaping me right now. I don't know if anyone could fill that in for me in a sec.
Virali.
Thank you. And after we found a few clues, such as like a mysterious symbol, and some weird like goo and stuff around, for lack of a better word, we realized that we hadn't seen the reporter character in a while, and he had never left, and we just found his skeleton still covered in gristle. Gristle be the right word?
Yeah, you found his clothes and skeleton covered in grime and more of that just sheen, mineral squelchiness that has permeated the rest of the house.
Tasty.
Yeah, and I think at that point my character's response would just to be start trembling uncontrollably and try to steady himself against the nearest object. Because
Took a photo of it.
different
So
ways of dealing with stress. I got it.
that is immediately where we ended. I don't know how you guys wrote journals, but you did. What I like is the idea that as soon as you take the photo and you hold up your you got the flash for it. As soon as the flash is gone, that is the point at which we look outside, because I know that Thaddeus went outside with a match or a flashlight or something, and we did have to investigate the shed a little bit, and it was a little bit dark. But it is at this point that the sun does finally creep all the way behind the rest of the forest, and darkness is now starting to consume the house.
Hello, my old friend.
So you're we didn't roll we did roll sanity and Varelli, but nobody had a bout of madness. Is that right?
I don't think so.
Did we roll sanity? I don't remember that.
Yeah, we all rolled sanity at the end. John rolled.
Oh, yeah, I passed.
John failed. It looked like.
Oh yeah, that should be. Yep.
I still think my character would be trembling because he's used to working with bodies that have been dead for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Not hundreds of hours.
Not hundreds of seconds. Very different.
Yeah, like tonight. He was here tonight. So
I failed to roll and lost 1 sanity.
Yeah, for some reason Gabe is super chill about this, or at least as chill as he can be. It's still bad. But I'll remind you that everyone found him in the den. Everybody was like in the trophy room looking around, and you got this really strange sensation of the various artifacts in his trophy room that came from South America. That's when you realized that you hadn't seen Vreli, and then you guys were leaving the trophy room, looked inside, and that's when you saw this slimy lump of wet mass inside the den.
Arwell is going to take the initiative and start going through the path. Veride's body and seeing if there's anything that would lead to
looting the body.
I'm looking for clues.
Yeah, he's a private eye. This makes sense.
Giving him the old pat down.
Can you look back in your roll and tell me how you did on that sanity test real quick?
I needed a 70 and I got 41.
And okay, so you succeeded?
Succeeded, yeah. I wasn't sure if you were looking.
Can you roll sanity again now that now that your hands are red and wet and covered in the muck? You realize what you're doing, and surprisingly, you're okay with this. So go ahead and lose 1 additional point of sanity, and tell me what it's like rolling around, mucking around in this guy's flesh.
So as most of us know, working with raw meat is a very unique feeling. And doing this, Arwell goes back to his past in a very odd Freudian state of hanging out with some of his ne'er-do-wells and touching dead animals with their hands.
Are you a serial killer?
So anyways, it's not a fond memory, so Arwell's taken back, but not to the point of disgust, but just this is what I have to do now type deal.
You search through his pockets the best that you can. Everything is very slick and almost waterlogged in what's left of him. And you find a couple extra canisters of film and things like that because he is a reporter. You find his notepad, but his notepad is completely destroyed in the filth that it's completely covered in. So you do not immediately find anything useful on Varelli.
Does it look like Varelli's body was kind of just slopped there? Or does it look like it was maybe dragged? Do I see drag marks in the dust? Or if I look up, do I see it just plopped from the ceiling?
Is it still like a human shape, or is it just like a pile of gore?
It's like a pile of gore.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like as if you took a human body, kept the bones, but melted the rest of him. And then the rest of him disappeared, but some of it's still on the bones.
Okay.
If that somehow better explains that. And
It's like you dropped an adventure in the slime of acidic ooze.
that's actually a lot like what it's like. And you do see, looking around the room, you do see a little bit of a struggle. There's a thin layer of dust on basically everything, remember, but it doesn't seem to make any sense where the struggle came from, because there is this carpet in the middle of the den and this room that you can tell leads over to the master bedroom. But you can see that there's a scuffle and a few things on the ground from like the desk that he presumably seemed to be thrashing around with, but it seems as if all of his thrashing was concentrated in the center of the room.
Do we all remember last time we saw him?
Out near the balcony area, outside the cloakroom in the hall, and then Elias took him outside, if I remember correctly, or sent him outside with the lawyers.
Okay. Elias is here and he chimes up. He started walking around. I didn't send him with anyone specifically, but I know what you mean. The last I saw him was when he just decided to start walking around. That must have been a couple hours ago now.
Okay, everyone get a partner if we have even numbers. If not, someone gets 3.
Accountability buddies.
Someone come with me while I go get my gun.
Yes, I will go with the strapping man with the gun.
I will investigate the den further.
Sure. Well, before you leave to actually go get your gun, as you take a second to actually look around the den, this is the place where Arthur clearly spent the most significant portion of his time, especially when he was being studious. So, there are a few journals here. You leaf through them, and they don't seem actually all that helpful. Mostly, it's just an that this is where his time for relaxation.
In the journal, do I see that little symbol?
No, you don't.
That's okay. That's it.
However, you do see hanging above the mantelpiece, actually, a shotgun. There is a shotgun hanging above the mantelpiece, very much in place and still there. And if you're there and anyone else would like to, everyone can go ahead and roll a spot hidden.
In the den area, correct?
Yep, in the den area. This is before you guys leave to go get your guns real quick.
I
see, right?
Bugs.
We're continuing the tradition of Thaddeus.
I see more bugs.
Can't wait till I get a gun in my hands with this luck.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, I didn't plan on succeeding at that, but sure.
Don't forget checkmark.
Thaddeus is busy going to get the gun.
Fair enough. Hold on a second. This is number 5. So, above the mantelpiece, which is or actually inside the mantelpiece, which is where the fireplace is. So, there's the mantle, and then under that's the fireplace with the grate in front of it. You find a little note that seems to be crumpled up and shoved into it. And then anybody who got a hard or an extreme success at this point, when you see the note that's crumpled up in the grate, as you approach it, you can see. Do you ever imagine you have a straw and you put it into liquid, cap the top and bring it up, and you know how the liquid stays inside, but there's a little bit on the bottom of surface tension? You can see the bottom bode of some thing inside the chimney, and as you get closer, it seems to recede up into it. And when it goes up, if you listen carefully, you can hear the wood creaking around in the house.
If I step away, do I maybe see it come down a bit?
You step away, and everyone in a half circle is just kind of staring at the fireplace. Jackson is looking left and right, and nothing else seems to be coming from the fireplace.
I'll take a picture of it.
You take a picture of the fireplace. I have this just straight up on the stream, so we do not need to read this aloud.
Cool.
Okay.
Can anyone make heads or tails of this note?
I am just now reading it. So uno
Okay.
momento.
Let me save that question until everyone's done reading it. Let me know.
Melodrama.
So after I read this scenario, I went and I looked up Cornthwaite, and it that is a real name. There is a soccer player named something Cornthwaite, which I think is an unfortunate name, but that's just me.
What team do they play for?
I don't know.
Oh.
So it kind of looks like a living will.
Do you disagree with that?
I disagree with that entirely.
Well, it starts with the eye being of sound mind and body, which is usually how they start living wills.
I don't think if you write in no time for formality, I don't think that I think that ruins the legally binding aspect of it.
It feels like 3 separate notes, because the first part is very formal. The second part is like, I have no time for formalities.
He writes.
The third part is a completely different cadence of writing.
So what we see here is he failed his sanity rolls each paragraph.
What is his sanity rolls?
Paragraph 1, sanity roll.
You know what?
Failed.
So we were talking very briefly before the stream started about things inside the story itself being aware of itself in this meta thing, and I think it's funny as a person whose entire collegiate experience is the interpretation of prose, where it's to whom it may concern, all right, this is very formal, I'm writing the statement, all right, this is very formal, no time for formality or legalisms, he writes. Why would he write that? And just get on with it.
So what would make someone scared of their house?
Well, it's oozy. Doors don't open, and it's falling in disrepair.
It's true. There are doors that don't open, and that is most peculiar.
I mean, I feel like that just happens sometimes when you don't take care of a house.
Thaddeus will walk back in and smack the double barrel shut with the 2 shells and be like, "You've been here, haven't you?"
Yes.
Somebody gonna grab that other
Is there
one?
wood in the fireplace?
No.
I believe I have a gun.
Check your
Okay,
character sheet.
No, I do. I don't. I remember us talking about it. I think I just didn't want to remove it, so we just have a gun for myself.
It is at this point that you hear. When you imagine you zoom out, and we see the camera from looking at the door to the master bedroom, since everyone's still in the den. It zooms out, and then your characters fill onto the screen as you begin to hear wood creaking from inside the master bedroom. And around you, you can feel that the house itself is shifting.
Did you see any firewood outside, Thaddeus?
Probably
I
outside.
think it'd be a good idea to light a fire and get the fireplace a little bit of warmth in here, and maybe this wet sodding place that feels kind of squishy when you poke the walls could use some fire.
Yeah.
And we need more torches.
She's coming with me.
I'll come with you.
Check out the master bedroom.
I'm gonna go with Arwell.
Go with Thaddeus.
Is gonna hang out with Arwell.
Elias is gonna go with Joseph and Arwell.
Okay.
So Thaddeus and Gabriel, they go down the stairs, and then the wood creaks upstairs, but doesn't creak downstairs. Remember this detail. And then you step outside, and it has become particularly dark. You go back to the shed where you were previously, because you remember that on the other side of the shed, stacked up against it, is a small pile of firewood. Can I have each of you roll a dexterity?
Yeah.
Wait, I clicked it.
Dexter.
I clicked it
Wait,
again.
is it only for certain people, Rob, or for everyone?
Thaddeus and Gabe. Is it not clicking for you?
I am clicking, and there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Well, I guess it's the first one, or now it.
Well, you
it
got
took a
two
minute.
extremes,
I
so
don't
I'll
know.
take that. So as you're walking, there, the ground, you remember it had recently rained, so it is a little mushy. It has that soft wetness to it, but as you get to the firewood, it's almost as if you each take a step, and it's almost as if that step is on a pillow. Like the world itself seems to like move under your foot, and you keep your balance as you seem to like settle back onto the ground.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
I think we need more. Let's just get these torches going.
So Joseph and Arwell go up into the master bedroom, and Elias follows in behind them. As you go into the master bedroom, what you first see is that there are tiny little black handprints all over the floor. That is the first thing you see when you walk in there.
Arwell's gonna go down and like touch the black handprints to see if they're fresh or something. I guess just like investigate. But
Well, sure. When you do that, you smudge the dust, and it's obviously like tiny little handprints in dust. The black would be more of where the hardwood floor actually is. So when you touch it and move it around, you kind of muss it up.
Okay.
Like,
Alright.
how small? Like, doll small or like kid hand small?
I want to say like 2 inches.
Okay.
Okay.
It's very tiny.
that is very tiny. When you go in,
I'm not there to.
It's true. When you go into the master bedroom, the bed is unmade, and you can hear what sounds like a scratching noise from near the bed.
Arwell's gonna take his gun out and like slowly see if anyone else wants to join and be like, does anyone have like a stick we can prod near the bed so we're not at risk to see what that noise is?
I have my umbrella that I use as a cane, so like I could poke at it.
That's good enough, I guess.
Let's see, how would this character go about this? Joseph kind of like still like trembling as he like slowly like approaches, and then like thrusts forward with his umbrella, which is trembling more wildly than his hand because of just the length of it, you know, as he pokes at this thing just to see if there's something there.
Sure. And what are you using under the bed? Like, did you
What do
say
you
a
mean?
cane or something?
It's an umbrella / cane.
Yeah. So when you do that and you reach under the bed and like you and Elias like make eye contact as you hear that slight scratching, and then you like thrash under the bed, and then you can hear a small body like moving and jumping around, and then out from under the bed scurries a raccoon running in between all of you and runs out through the den, and it's got that nice sound of claws on hardwood floor. Can I get a listen from everyone here?
Yeah, sure. Listen.
Oh, I did not listen well.
Hey, listen.
I succeeded.
Nice.
Great. So as that runs out, and you can hear that it's running down out of the master bedroom into the den, and you're not quite sure where after that. But Elias and Joseph again are able to make eye contact, because what Arwell does not hear is that immediately after the raccoon runs out, the wood in the room creaks a little bit as the master bedroom seems to breathe and just give you a little bit more space.
Huh.
Thaddeus and Fenks, what are you guys up to?
I'm
Or
walking
Thaddeus
back
and Gabe.
upstairs with firewood.
Coming up in stairs?
Yeah.
As you open the door to the house, you see a raccoon running down the stairs at you, and it does like that dog thing where it's on hardwood floor, so it like tries to stop, doesn't, and then it scurries off into like the kitchen direction.
Oh, wait. Quick question, Rob. How can I roll to see how cute this raccoon is?
No.
Damn it.
Last interesting thing about the master bedroom up there is that you can tell that this mantelpiece in the den directly above the fireplace, the fireplace is bisected, and presumably the chimney all goes into one thing because there's a brick wall between the master bedroom and the den. So it is two different fireplaces leading into the same chimney on opposite sides of the same wall.
Double the fire hazard.
And then up comes Thaddeus and Gabe with firewood.
Where'd
What
that
are we
come
gonna use
from?
as kindling?
The raccoon came from the bedroom. It was making some noise that it's a raccoon. Like, it made noise in the bedroom because the house is dilapidated. Like,
Sure.
shock.
I believe Elias had the lighter.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll ask, hey Elias, can we use your lighter to start this fire? We get the kindling.
Any
Together.
books around here y'all aren't particularly attached to?
I mean, couldn't we use the reporter's notepad? Since it's useless.
Was it
It's
ruined in
moist.
like a wet way? Because that ain't gonna work.
It is
Are
now
we-
pulp
are we
with
in
the
same
pulp
room
body.
again? I thought we were still upstairs. Or did he join us?
They walked
They
upstairs.
came upstairs.
Yeah, we
Oh,
came up.
While
I
you were
missed
doing,
that.
yeah, while you're doing the master bedroom stuff, they got some wood.
Gotcha.
So eventually, you don't have to yet, but everyone will eventually meet back in the den. At which point, Thaddeus and Gabe are probably just Thaddeus is building a fire, and then Elias is going to help light it.
Well,
Cool.
okay. So are the groups still split up? One in the den and one in the master, or are we all in the den now?
I don't
All in the
know.
den.
I don't think the group has split up yet. Everyone's in
Well,
the
I
den
I
or
think we're
master.
all back together.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what. Okay. Arwell's gonna just investigate the desk in the den a bit more because it seems like the reporter was there for a reason.
Sure. Go ahead and roll spot hidden.
Yeah, that's a good stat.
Unfortunately, that is a.
Can I push my luck for that?
So, as you try to investigate the desk, you pull out the drawer and realize that it is a lot shorter than you think it is. So when you pull out the drawer, it immediately comes out of the desk, and some papers are starting to fall towards the mass that is Varelli. Are you going to try to grab those?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Dexterity, then.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah.
Immediately, like right before they fall into this blood stain, which I imagine it's like Elias has like taken the rug and like covered this stain. Before it gets to there, you manage to like scoop all of them up out of the air.
Okay. Sorry about that, everyone.
You take a second to look over them, and you can, by looking at it right off the bat, you can tell that this is a ledger.
Oh, okay.
Are the handprints still visible in the master bedroom, or are they all mussed up?
The
little tiny
handprint.
handprints.
I think
Well,
those are little raccoon
yeah.
prints.
At this point,
I was gonna say, do they look like actual like raccoon prints
Thaddeus
now?
is very aware of what raccoon prints look like, and they are definitely raccoon prints.
Okay.
Nature's bandit.
He's not aware of them stealing the flesh off a person's body.
Not yet.
I've seen a few rabid in my day, but not like that.
So what's everybody doing? Aren't one of you an accountant?
No. I know that
I
plays
have
someone.
accounting skills, I think. I gave Joseph does because he runs a museum.
Yeah, so you grab that. Arlo grabs that and is like, "This looks like a
Yeah,
ledger."
good call, I do.
And then Elias is going to be like, "Oh hey, Joseph, don't you run a museum? Won't you be able to make heads or tails of these ledgers?"
Yeah, sure, I'll take a look. I'd much rather look at that than everything else here right now. And so I grab that and adjust my bifocals and just get to thumbing through it and making little notes.
You feel a strange presence, because I imagine you like go to his desk and might sit at his desk, and you don't feel like the house is moving, but you definitely feel like this is something that Arthur has done. While you're going over the books, Elias looks over to Thaddeus and is like, "Hey, can you help me with this?" And he's trying to finish rolling Varelli in the rug and just kind of like
Oh yeah.
Real
move
quick.
him. Yeah.
Before they finish that, at risk of a sanity check,
Sure.
I would like to like, because I have a little bit of knowledge in chemistry, to see if there's like any form of like chemical I may have come across in my like sciencing.
Sure.
If that maybe he is doused in to like explain why he is this mass.
You might want to know if there is some possibly known solution that this is.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you have chemistry?
I do. I am good at it.
Fuck yeah, roll it.
Alright, so I'm
Not
gonna
that
spend
good.
2 points of luck.
Yeah. So the most interesting thing about this, as Joseph, you rolled your accounting, perfect. The most interesting thing about this is that as you're looking over it, like Thaddeus and Elias have moved it off to the side. There's still like a wet red spot in the middle of the floor, but the main lump of it is off to the side of the wall. And after they do that, you walk over there and you start to inspect it. And at this point, you're now most interested in what this particular sheen or strange solution is that seems to be everywhere inside the house. And you have no idea. And the most interesting thing about that is that you have no idea, not because this is a chemical compound that escapes you, it's that you're not even aware what could make this.
Gotcha. It's not of this natural world.
At least not that you're aware of. I mean,
Okay.
there's stuff in the Orient. Joseph, you're going through his books and you rolled well on his accounting. While you're going through his ledger, what you find is that he has... A couple years ago, he went to South America, and you can see the expenditures for that. Mostly as a one lump sum payment to himself, and then you can see that he paid out of pocket for all the rest of the expenditures. It didn't come from his estate or anything like that. But one of his most recent purchases, which you can tell did not clear, was what seems to be for a giant, just a large dump truck of salt. Salt. But it didn't seem to clear, and there's some scribblings next to it about like how he needs to have a firm talk with his lawyers.
I see.
What's everybody else doing?
I guess Arwell's just gonna forget his advice of walking in groups and just start investigating more of the house, looking for things out of place, I guess.
Sure, where are you headed?
Let's head to the
Going
bath.
towards the trophy room, I'll go with you.
That's on the way. Like, I'm going to the bath, I guess. Or the room that we haven't opened up yet, technically, because no one's been there.
Do you have a reason to go to the trophy room, Gabe?
I personally haven't had much time to look into it, and I am interested in taking like pictures of his artifacts and stuff.
Sure.
Like, it's the room that is of most interest to me in this house. That's
Yeah, sure. So you guys go together, and then Gabe is going to veer off to the left and go to the trophy room, and Arwell's going to veer off to the right and go up into the bathroom. Let's do Gabe really quick. Is there anything you want to do in here, like take pictures of the stuff?
I kind of like to look and see if I can't find anything that, like, because a lot of people have like their big trophies that they show off, but they may have like that special cabinet with their things that they most enjoy. That's a bit less. Well,
so you're looking for like his curio cabinet?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably one up in there.
So I'd like to look for that and see what interesting things he has there.
You're not skilled in archaeology at all, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
It is purely aesthetic for me.
So, were you in here? I know we discovered this room last time. Were you in here before?
I was in here, and then we immediately went to the den. Like, I opened the door, and then den.
So in here is lots of various artifacts, like potteries and things like that. But in his curio cabinet, there's like a couple odd knives or maybe arrowhead type things. And
nothing with that symbol.
Nothing with that symbol.
That I can tell. Okay.
It all looks kind of the same to you.
Yeah.
Arwell goes off into the bathroom. When he opens up the bathroom, you will notice that it is dirty. It is amazingly dirty.
Like purposely so?
No, it's not like covered. It's got that same general like sliminess to it. Little sheen of some solution dried, but okay. it's not been cleaned or well upkept at all.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to do in here specifically?
Can I just try to see if the water's working?
Sure. So
I just go to the sink, basically.
You go to the sink and turn it on?
Yeah.
The faucet spindles, they squeak a little as you turn it, and you get a few drops of water. But it seems to come to a stop.
Okay. I'm going to still turn it off, and then can I look out the windows to see if I notice anything weird?
Yeah. So you look out the window, and when you look out the window, as it's getting now solidly night, you can't see much, except you do see someone in motion. You can't really tell who, and you're upstairs and you look down, and you can see someone walking seemingly to the front door. So from here, it would look like he's walking from the top down.
Okay.
Immediately outside, and he seems to have something on his back, like a long thing on his back, but it's too dark to really tell what that might be.
Arwell's going to assume this could be a worst case scenario, so he's going to quickly run and gather everyone just on top of the stairs that's like looking down in the front area. If I'm assuming he's coming through that front door, because there's probably more doors, but I'm going to gather everyone to the balcony area, but not the back balcony, like by the stairs balcony.
Sure, can you roll luck?
Yeah. It's this.
Oh, new balcony.
Fuck.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
You fail your luck. So what happens is, like, as you go away from the window and start to go towards the balcony, out of the corner of your eye, you thought you turned off the sink, but at this point it seems full of a liquid, and then it grows and explodes in your general direction. Can you roll sanity and also a reflex?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Do you care which one first?
Nope.
Sandy first failed,
and by dodge.
Reflex. Oh, dodge.
Go ahead, dodge.
Oh, that's not good.
Yep.
Oh, that's a syntax error. Oh, I didn't write that down. Sorry.
Half of it.
Super knock. Yeah. Also fail. Nice.
Fantastic. So, as you look over, this little brownish moving liquid in the sink is growing. And then, much like a pus-filled pustule, it explodes in your direction. I want you to go ahead and lose 1 point of sanity and also roll a d3, so d6. And you're going to take that much damage as it splashes onto you and you can feel your skin burning. You presumably, everyone else hears Arwell like give
Screaming?
out a "Ah!" And then Elias quickly turns and goes, "We need to get over there."
I'm pretty close. I'll go over.
Mm-hmm. I got the shotgun
Got the
shouldered.
shotgun? Yeah.
I got a
but-
camera.
Ben, you're muted.
Yeah, you muted Ben.
I muted because the printer is right behind me. It was going off. I forgot.
I see you running over.
Yeah, I'm running over, closing my book, and being like in a panic. Yeah, sure, whatever. More just because I don't want to be left alone.
Sure. Can So Elias is gonna run over, and what I imagine is that like you're the last one out of the den.
Right.
And as everyone runs over to Arwell, and that thing that bursts up onto Arwell, the rest of it seems to recede back up into the faucet as everyone else gets there. You flash your camera right at that instant, and as Joseph is trying to leave the den, that thing you saw from the chimney is now coming out of the chimney. It's this long, slimy tendril, and
Just
Joseph, it's going to
ignore the
grab
fire.
you. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does just ignore the
Oh,
fire.
great. Cool.
The smoke is billowing around it.
Probably where I can kind of see it as it grabs me.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh my god, but it's going to try. So, would you like to fight back or dodge?
Let's go with dodge. Let's try to dodge.
Good. Roll dodge and sanity,
Dodge
please.
type.
Yeah. Here is.
Am I in that
dodge.
room or the bathroom?
I
Or no,
imagine
I'm
that
on my way.
I imagine that everyone
And
is
then
like right here.
Is
Okay.
sanity.
And the tendril is in the fireplace.
Literally coming out
Yeah.
of the fireplace.
Fail the
fine.
dodge. Pass the sanity check.
Very good. Go ahead and lose 1 point of sanity, as you have the wits about you to scream out for help, but the tentacle grabs you by your legs and begins dragging you to the fire. Because it's trying to recede up into the chimney. At which point, I imagine everyone else is like, "Oh shit!"
So this
Take a
is like the
picture.
scene from Clue.
Go ahead and tell me what
I'm
you
gonna
guys are
take
doing.
a picture.
I'm gonna shoot it.
I'm assuming Joseph screamed, right?
Yeah, no, I'm screaming and like trying to grab literally anything for purchase as I'm getting dragged to the fire.
Yeah, he's dragged into the fire. He's trying to claw the hardwood floor with his nails.
Yeah.
I'm
Thaddeus
assuming
is going to
Ro-
shoot it.
Yeah, but he's shooting at like the fireplace part, not the part around the
Yeah.
fellow's ankle.
No, I got you.
Accuracy.
That is
Here we
the
go.
wisest here.
It's a shotgun, so
Is it a slug or a bird shot or like buckshot?
I imagine it's just buckshot. Okay, and in like 20 minutes when this roll goes through, we'll see it. But I'm not
Kill.
gonna fail. I'll
Oh,
spend the luck.
You can't
that
spend
would
luck on
be setting
combat.
sick.
Oh, you can't?
I don't think you
Damn.
can.
Can Arwell take a shot into the fireplace?
Arwell has a shot. Sure, you
Yeah.
can do that because when you have a gun, it you can normally act much faster. So go ahead and do that real quick.
Nice.
I just took a picture of it. And now I'm gonna try to help him. That's it. Like give him a hand.
Roll strength, and Joseph can also roll strength. Elias is going to run over, and he's also going to roll strength.
All right.
I roll size. Oh, I failed. Oh, the fumble. The fumble.
I passed my strength check.
So what's fun
Do I
about?
latch on to anything to slow me down?
Oh, hold on. Can somebody just roll a plain D100 for me?
Yeah, I can.
Or to get like 30 of them.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Oh.
Do.
Got beat to it.
Oh, that's fine. So what happens is Gabe and Joseph and Elias are all trying to fight against this tentacle dragging him to the fireplace, so he stops getting pulled towards it. Thaddeus and Arwell just start shooting at the fireplace, and there's a couple small ricochets. Is this birdshot or is it slugs?
It'd be birdshot probably.
So you hear just off the metal grate like bunches of tings, and the thing seems to be annoyed by it, and it grips down into Joseph's ankle. Go ahead. I'd like you to take like 2 points of damage as it lets go, but it like falls into an almost liquid state and begins receding back into the fireplace. It seems to be completely unconcerned with the fire.
Now,
There
quick
goes my plan.
question.
To be clear, Joseph and Gabe and Elias did help him not actually get dragged up.
That's
Woohoo!
What's your question?
Was that like similar to the brown stuff that was in the sink that hurt me?
Yes.
Does it look like the goo that I like have in my roll canisters that I got from the door?
Yes.
Do you guys remember that the noise only is like up here, right? Because both of us got attacked and one person's dead. We should not be upstairs.
Anybody got salt?
Why salt?
Because it was in the ledger. He tried to buy
I
a
haven't
metric
gotten to
out
share
of
that
it.
info with anyone yet.
Oh, shoot!
He has
My
not.
bad.
He has not had that chance. There's a lot-
And
a lot of
I
stuff.
feel like I'll be a bit shaken to be able to share that yet. But in
I'm-
like the next scene where I'm not terrified from almost being dragged by death, I
And-
will tell the group.
To be fair, it probably was painful living for a bit. So I'm just gonna say, everyone, we should just go downstairs and then regather our thoughts and figure out what to do next.
My
'Cause
flashlight, but I'm gonna suggest someone grabs like one of the sticks to have like a torch, like to make a torch, because not everybody has flashlights. Because it's getting dark out, and we're going downstairs.
It is very dark now. It is. It
Oh.
is like night, which is why you couldn't see easily what was going on with that figure outside.
Oh no, that figure I don't give a shit about right now.
Oh,
got
yeah.
hurt. Yeah,
Figure.
no. We'll figure it out later.
But that's my suggestion. I grab my flashlight, my camera, and I'm like, maybe you guys want to get a torch for light?
And we're going
So
downstairs.
you're recommending we go grab wood out of that fireplace that just had a giant something.
You know,
on
when you put it
coming
like
out of
that, you're right. Probably shouldn't do that. I ain't thinking straight. What do you want from me?
It is at this point that everyone like you're all looking at each other trying to figure out what exactly to do. The fire is still crackling, and you hear the door downstairs open and then close.
That's what a door's supposed to do, Rob. That's not scary.
No, I'm pretty spooked.
Yeah, no, I am too.
There is, I can tell with the hesitation, quiet upstairs. You hear footsteps. They do not approach the stairs, but after a moment, the footsteps stop.
Arwell wanted to go downstairs, so he's gonna greet the person, be like, "Hello,
I have a
What are you-
flashlight. I'll look at him.
what are you doing here?"
You didn't. You. It was not possible to see. Everybody was like in the den, and if you look out of the den at this point and go to the balcony and look down, you don't see them. You just know that presumably someone is downstairs.
I would still say hello. I'm assuming they're inside.
No one answers you.
That's worse.
I say hello in French.
and then you look over
Bonjour.
your shoulder, and Elias looks at you, and you both like shrug, like I guess it's worth a try.
Yeah. Guys, I still think it's very dangerous to stay up here. We should really go downstairs.
Or we could
I don't got a gun. I'm following you guys.
we could leave. That's a viable
we
option.
we could leave.
I mean, that is a valid option, but I'm leaning towards that.
We can't leave yet. We have to. This is too dangerous to not like know what the heck's going on. The sheriff told us that there'd been strange deaths of livestock and stuff. What if this starts going to other people's homes?
That man down there is the one that
Oh, wait.
killed the other livestock.
What man?
Well, we don't know it's a man. I heard footsteps. Sounds like a man. Doesn't talk like a man, but it could be a man.
I mean, it has 2 feet. Could be anything.
So what are we doing?
Arwell's going downstairs no matter what.
I mean,
I'm
I wanna-
following Thaddeus.
I'm
Yeah.
sticking with Arwell, and I'm like leaning on Arwell for support because my leg got slightly injured from that whole escapade.
Do you
Yeah.
still have the umbrella?
Yeah, I'm using that for support as well, but like
Okay,
we're going
no.
downstairs, I could use extra help.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure you still had something.
I want to point out a thing that people just noticed as they're dealing with this, because the upstairs used to creak a lot, but as you've been moving around with the thing that's in this house now, that you realize the upstairs has stopped creaking so much. But as you go towards the stairs still creak as you descend down to the first floor. About halfway down the stairs, you as a group are able to see from kind of like the middle of the stairs through the door into the library. There is a smartly dressed man sitting in an overstuffed chair off in the corner, and his legs are crossed, and he seems to be reading a book in his lap.
Does
Do
he
I
have light on?
Sorry?
Ben, you go first.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say,
he's definitely got like a little lamp next to him.
Do I
Okay.
recognize this man? Like, is this Arthur? Because I've seen Arthur before.
No, this is definitely not Arthur.
Okay.
No one recognizes this
Okay.
man.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, he's not like a local from town that I might recognize
No,
either.
no one has ever seen this man before.
I call out to try and get his attention.
You call out to him, and he looks up at you, smiles. At this point, you can see the reflection of light in his glasses. Smiles, and he gives a short wave. He goes, "Hello, everyone."
Hello. And who are you?
Salutations.
At this point, you can see him. Are we kind of going down the stairs into the library, or are we having this conversation from afar?
Let's say hallway doorway.
Yeah.
Salt? I just saw that.
Yeah.
There is a text tool. Just want to let you know. That's why I did that.
And it is at this point that you see this person, and he closes his book, stands up, doesn't quite like do a bow, just kind of like a general like upper body nod type of thing. He goes, "Hello, my name is Carl Stanford." And I didn't hear, did you guys come downstairs to greet him, or are you still? Okay. So we're all slowly congregating in the library.
Is that... I've spent some time looking at the books in here and such. Is that name look familiar to any of the names that were on any of the books in here?
No.
No? Okay. I was thinking maybe it was an author he was familiar with.
No, you've definitely seen like Elias like smiled to himself earlier in the night when he noticed that he had that Arthur had one of his earlier books. But you've not seen anything by Carl Stanford here.
Okay.
He hello and looks at all of you. He's like, "Hello, my name is Carl Stanford, and if able, I am here to help."
Hello, Carl. Thank you for the assistance. My name's Arwell Parrish. I'm just curious who sent you.
Who sent me? No, that I think that presumes a some form of hierarchical thinking. No, I just am here to try to do a favor, and you seem to be having an issue with this house.
Yes, very much. We would love any assistance you could render. Could we perhaps talk about this over a cup of tea in the kitchen or something?
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Right.
And then this, we're attempting some form of like normalcy as
Yes.
you exit the library and you go towards that hallway that leads to the kitchen, right? And as you go towards that hallway, you can see a few drops of blood. And then after a few drops of blood, because it's quite dark, and if you shine your flashlights up, you can see what slowly turns into an actual dragging, bloodied mess from this corner into the kitchen.
Oh, cool.
Head count. Is everyone still here?
Yeah, you see that. Everyone looks around and is like, "Yep, head count, we're all good. Elias is here."
Okay.
One question. No,
Yeah?
I wouldn't have that knowledge. Fuck. Dang you, Alan. I need you to think of something.
No. Arwell's more confused of why we're doing this. Normally, we're not questioning the person who just showed up. It's like, I'm here to help. Why are you here to help? Oh yeah, no. Arwell's just gonna ask Carl. You said it's How did you hear about this house?
Oh, I was informed by a person that I work for. and they would have incredible appreciation if whatever happens to be happening in this house is taken care of. And he just walks by, just blood streak, and he goes into the kitchen.
I appreciate this confident gentleman. I'm going to follow him.
Do you still
That
need
is-
help, or are you good on your own?
I'm leaning heavily on my cane and the wall, but yeah, sorry, I get there.
Yeah, leaning heavily on your cane to the wall. You're like lean against the edge. I'm imagining like hereabouts, right? At
Yeah.
this point, he seems to know the kitchen somehow, and he grabs a pot and a pot to start boiling some water on, and he goes to the faucet. When he turns the faucet on, yeah.
Before don't do the faucet. There's stuff that comes out of there. Just don't.
He turns it on and it doesn't, and then he turns it off and he shakes his head, taps it a couple times, turns it on, and it does. And it's this point that you see that raccoon's mangled mess seems to be in the sink that he is getting water from, as if it had been receded up through the faucet. But he's getting water now. Everybody roll sanity on that.
Yeah.
Sure. Is the floor as we walk around creaking more than it was before?
Is the floor cleaner? Is that
Creaking.
uh
Because you
no,
said the
it's not
upstairs was
creaking.
creaking less, but the stairs were still creaking normally. I wasn't sure if it started creaking more downstairs.
It is now not creaking down here.
Currently it's safe.
If you succeed, it's cool. If you have failed, go ahead and lose a point of sanity. How much have each of you lost at this point in the game?
All in all,
I've actually gained 9.
Yeah, all in all.
I've net lost 2. Technically lost 2.
5. Don't know why I showed 10.
I've net gained 2. I've plussed since the beginning. I'm at 52, started at 50. I've lost 2.
So Arwell, you've lost 5 at this point?
Yes.
Okay, Arwell, you have now, because by failing this, I think you're like going to turn around and just retch. He's going to go into the pantry, and you're going to hear him vomiting from the other side. And it is at this point that now, with your very brief bout of madness, you're going to become very interested in Carl's book.
Hell yeah, I didn't know he had a book. Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mentioned that he was reading
Awesome.
when he came down.
Yeah, I just assumed it was from the library, not his own personal book.
You good,
Okay,
Ethan?
cool.
Yeah. We're good.
I just wish I knew if this was the same person that Alan saw before. That's all I
What
want
person
to know.
are you talking about?
I know nothing.
So at that point, he goes to the oven and turns on the flame and sets it down and looks at all of you.
Hey, Carl.
fairly
I
familiar with
I pat my tweed jacket because I'm hyper focused on getting a good cup of tea right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I pull out a bag of loose leaf tea that I got from a friend of mine from the Smithsonian. And they're like, this is a great blend from Georgia. I think you'll enjoy.
The
Carl,
country?
The country or the state?
Carl sets his
Would
book
you like to
down
know?
on the counter and looks at you and accepts. He's like, "Oh, thank you very much. That is particularly kind." Do you want tea, of course, as well? Yes.
Yes.
And then he
You know,
like
with
leans
the
over. Tea
cover
for
of
anyone
glass.
else?
I'll take a cup.
Sure.
You're all right there, fella.
And Elias nods. Seemingly after some time.
No,
Some.
Arwell's gonna start talking again.
Okay, go ahead.
Carl, do you consider yourself a man of culture?
Yes.
I was
How
just
many
asking
fedoras does
because
he own, though?
I just want to know more about the book. You were just reading the library, and none of the books seem to have gone missing.
Well, I'd be impressed if you knew the entire contents of the library, especially after being here for such short time. But no, this is my book. It's light reading. I take it for travel.
Oh, okay. What's it about?
At this point, like, because he set it on the counter, you look at it, and it has a hard cover and no title or really any inscription that might betray what it might be without opening it. And he finishes boiling the water and begins pouring the cups and putting the tea into the cups. I suppose it's best described as a genealogy and a family history of sorts. It's kind of a biography of a family.
Of your family?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
You said you work for somebody, and pardon me if that's hierarchical thinking, but
That seems.
who might that be?
That would be a typical response, I think. I work for an Egyptian, which is a peculiar and interesting thing in and of itself. And he has some interest in the curios that are here. Arthur Cornthwaite has acquired some objects that he is particularly interested in.
Good enough for me.
Are you?
You said you're from you.
He works for someone in Egypt.
In Egypt.
No, technically.
I don't know if I have.
I work for an Egyptian.
Yes.
Sure. I have a symbol that I believe is Egyptian in origin, and I want to know if you've ever seen it before.
Oh, please.
And I don't remember if it was me or Ben's character that had the book that had that symbol. But I'd like to show him the symbol from the missing people.
I gave the book to you. You can, because I was done with taking notes on it, so you can show it. Also, my character is just hyper focused on his tea. He's like trying to just process and drown out the rest of the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Carl's eyeing the book, if it's still on the table.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Carl's eyeing the book.
Is your name Carl?
No, not Carl.
Arwell. Okay.
Sorry.
So you're eyeing the book. Sure.
Yeah.
As you're eyeing the book, you can see that it is slowly at this point I think we've migrated to the dining room now that we've all got our tea.
Oh, yeah.
And the book is slowly sliding towards you on the table. Yet no one else seems to see this.
No, this is fine. The book is coming to me. I don't need to do anything else. I'll just wait.
I forgot your question, Gabe. Say that again. Oh, has he seen this symbol before?
Yeah.
You show him the book with the symbol in it, and he seems unsurprised, almost as if he expected to see this. And he goes, "Oh yes, I am familiar with this. There are many tribes that use this as some inscription to a god of theirs."
How does that?
Say again?
What god is that?
I believe it is called Shub-Niggurath.
We have a name.
I feel like, is that a sanity check hearing an old one's name? I forget which ones are maddening just to hear.
It is not, but it is at this point. Everyone is hyper focused. Everything gets very still, except the book, which is inching closer to Arwell.
Yes.
So much so that the house itself, you can feel through your chairs on the floor, rumbles just a little bit when he looks at you and says, Shub-Niggurath.
Is that happen to be a tendril monster?
Monster is not, I suppose, a word. Well, that is an incorrect term for that. And tendrils, yes, no, yes.
Well, it just so happens before you showed up, our good friend here got attacked by a tendril monster.
Oh, I am well aware.
Oh, how nice of you.
Joseph is disturbed by this conversation and just decides, sugar, we need sugar for this tea.
Yeah.
And just starts looking through the cupboards.
As you're looking through the cupboards, you realize you find sugar. You don't know if it's any good anymore. But a more peculiar fact is that you find a pepper shaker, but no salt shaker.
That same thing came up at the dining room table. There was only a pepper shaker and not a salt shaker.
I say, oh, I look at it and I'm like, okay, oh, That's weird. No salt. And then it jogged my memory like salt. I just yell it out loud. And I'm like, the ledger mentioned that he was trying to get a truck worth of salt delivered to the house, and it was denied by his lawyers. I don't know how this is relevant, but you know,
He comes into the dining room with Sugar exclaiming salt.
yeah, yeah, sugar and a pepper shaker.
Peculiar way to drink tea.
No, the note. He said it had a weakness, a extremely simple weakness, and he tried to get a whole truck's worth of salt delivered to his house. Is the weakness salt? Am I crazy? Am I dead or unconscious and this is all a dream? I wish it's that one.
No,
I get knocked out by a raccoon in the bedroom.
Arwell, are you doing anything with this book?
Is it with our? Could
It
I
is
run
now in
away?
front of you.
Okay, I'm just gonna take it and just casually go to the library.
Just walk away with it
Yeah.
while everyone's looking at me screaming about salt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you make a spot hidden?
Hell yeah.
Uh,
Fucker.
Whoa. Yeah.
And luck.
Can I push?
Oh, yeah.
Push that.
Sure. So, as you grab the book and try to like make an exit, you try to look out of the corner of your eye and see if Carl is aware that you're doing this, and you realize that you have no idea what he's seeing because he has those reflections in his glasses, and as you're trying to exit the room with the book, you can't tell if he saw you. Are you going to go with this again?
Yes. With another spot hidden or a different roll.
Spot hidden.
Yes. Nice. Can I spend luck on that actually? 6 points.
No, not on this one.
Okay.
I probably yes in the actual rules. Nah, not on the
No,
rules.
you're the DM. I don't care.
So as you come in exclaiming salt, he smiles and nods a little bit. That is a thing that Shub-Niggurath and its kin does not like, and I always thought that it's a little.
You shouldn't say that name.
So I always thought it was a little base. And you see that he sees you leaving with his book and the faintest little bit of a smile.
I got the book. I don't care.
Before Arwo goes to the library and does anything with it, does anyone want to do anything?
So how are you gonna help?
if I knew chemistry, I was going to make a chemistry pun because you make salt by combining a base with an acid, and he said it was very base. But I don't know chemistry as this character.
I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with myself because of that. He says to you in person, in game.
Okay, I'm suitably disturbed.
Wait, should Ben have to roll a chemistry check to see if he has to lose sanity?
No, I'm losing my own sanity. It's fine.
I'm gonna look for salt in the pantry and such.
Oh, sure. You can go look for salt in the pantry. You exit the dining room. Now left here is Joseph, Thaddeus, and Elias at the dining room table. Looking for salt in the pantry. Actually, I'll get to you in just a second. Arwell, you go to the library with his book.
Yeah. I'm gonna start reading it. Just might as well.
Okay, so you're gonna open and start reading?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Roll sanity.
Hell yeah.
Yeah! Oh god. Okay.
Why do I have Thaddeus's luck this time?
I still have it, so it's not like I gave it to you.
But look at all my rolls.
Let's together discover what's going to happen with your character, because you fumbled, which means
Awesome.
that you're going to take the most that could possibly happen here, which is a D10 of sanity. So you're just going to lose 10 sanity looking through this book.
Hell yeah.
You have no time to actually digest this book, actually study, and you realize that you would not be able to because it is not written in any kind of language that you understand or is remotely human. It is has symbols that don't make sense to you, and yet they conjure images in your mind. And as you stare at this book, you begin to see things like a pyramid that's somehow twisted. And then on that, you see like projected and then fading away is another pyramid, more ziggurat-like, as
Okay.
in that it is stepped. And then from that, you begin to see this long, oblong-shaped thing going into the sky and explode. And then when that happens, you feel nothing but complete and utter terror, and he shrieks and howls into the night. At which point, everyone in the dining room definitely hears that, is all startled, and I'm pretty sure Carl doesn't do a damn thing.
Nice.
I feel like I'm already shaken. Feel like I should make a sanity check from hearing another fucking scream tonight.
Go for it.
Not just a scream, a howl. A howl
Yeah.
and scream.
Hey.
No, I'm fine. Never mind. I'm putting sugar in my tea. I'm having a delightful time.
With Carl, yes. Gabe, when you're looking through the pantry, you don't see any salt, but creeping up through, like, under the door, because you'll see that there's a door here that leads into the storage.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll remember that the storage has a giant hole in it that leads into the basement. As you're looking through the pantry and you turn around, that same tendril that seems to come from upstairs is now under this door, creeping out of the storage to grab you. What do?
I take a picture.
You take a picture as
Like, my response to fear is picture.
is click.
Yeah.
You do a click, and it is drowned out by the sound of Arwell howling to the night with complete madness, and Carl sips his tea. I need you to roll a strength check against this tendril.
Hey, I'll take it.
It has, at this point, you remember the Matrix? How he's got, like, the thing that goes up his arm and, like, into his mouth and all of that? It is beginning to envelop your entire body, and you begin to feel your flesh, like, actually separate as it has you pinned against the door, but you're not dying yet. You just feel like it's trying to grab you like some oddly shaped boa constrictor. Thaddeus, what are you doing?
The
I haven't
still in
made
the
any
kitchen,
noise.
right?
Carl's still in the kitchen.
Are we still in the kitchen?
No, you're in the
Uh,
dining
Arlo
room.
went.
Joseph,
Or the dining room?
Joseph's having tea with Carl because things seem more relaxed in here.
Okay.
Yep.
Um,
To my knowledge,
I would-
Carl, Elias, Joseph, and Thaddeus are still at the table because Arwell and Gabe snuck out.
I would go toward the scream then.
I assume you rush to the library, and you see Arwell just like frothing from the mouth, seizing, as his screams start to turn into a gurgle.
Am I swallowing my tongue?
You will be soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is gonna yell into the dining room. Just be like, I think Mr. Parrish is swallowing his tongue in here, fellas.
Elias is gonna
Think he's
stand.
gonna perish?
Elias is gonna stand up and rush over, and now it is just Carl and Joe sipping tea.
So, but I just politely take a sip of tea, and then Joseph says, "So, is there any way we can assist you with you dealing with this problem? As I'm afraid this problem might have taken my friend Arthur, and I'd hate it to do something to anyone else."
Oh, assist me? No, of course. I don't need assistance, but my Egyptian friend might in the future, and well, he might, not to sound cliche, but he might need a favor. But I can produce a sizable portion of salt for you for tonight.
That would be great, and also I have many friends in Egypt. Just work with them all the time, so that'd be great. Sure.
Sorry, I was reading Arwell's backstory because he has lost 10 points of sanity, and we need to
Destroy
foundationally
something.
disturb him.
Ooh, okay.
Let's do that really quick. Best and worst part of humanity is free will. All right. So I gave you a chance to roll on this, and I feel like from what you have just seen, that vision, which is incredibly disturbing to you,
Yeah.
that does not feel like free will. And you are fairly certain that this is destiny and that all of mankind is doomed.
Okay, so what should that change to?
Yes.
Because that.
I don't know. Let's figure it out.
Okay. Destiny controls all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Everyone is. There is no choice, and there
Destiny
is only
slug.
fate.
There is no choice, only fate. I like that. Cool.
Thaddeus,
First aid.
you are presumably helping Arwell. Do you have first aid?
I don't. That's why I called for someone.
I think it's,
Someone with first aid, please.
I have the
Mill
base. I
management
have the
here.
regular.
I think it's funny the transcendentalist who lives out in the woods doesn't have first aid.
If you get hurt, that's God telling you it's time to die.
There is no God here, so definitely not him telling us to die, right?
Yeah, there's some else.
So Elias will run over, and the two of you, I think, will be able to like set Arwell down, and better facilitate his seizure. Allow him to run that course. We don't know what we're going to do with Gabe yet, but Carl looks at Joseph and says, "Yes, I can produce a sizable amount of salt for you. It won't be here long. I can produce that truck that Cornthwaite tried to order, but I'm going to... My Egyptian friend will need some help. And there are some curiosities upstairs in the trophy room that I would like to obtain. And my book, of course. Arwell, I think, has read the first chapter."
I see. Well, do you want help collecting those curiosities? That's what I do in my day job.
Oh, that
Do you need
sounds...
help looking for them?
Oh, you do run a museum. That's right. Yes, please come. That is very, very kind of you, and I appreciate it greatly. As you... I assume you're going to exit?
Yeah.
At this point, it is pretty easy to hear Gabe thrashing against the thing, trying to squeeze him under the door in the pantry.
I don't go quietly.
No, he doesn't.
That's for sure.
Carl is standing at the base of the stairs looking at you as you're like directly between Gabe and Carl.
I see. My
mouth, right? So I can't really talk.
I mean, I'm going to need another strength roll from you pretty soon here.
Gabe helped me. I'm like, excuse me, Carl, 1 second. I will join you upstairs in a few moments to help. I need to do my friend a turn here.
Do
I want to spend that luck?
You can see him raise his eyebrow. Yes, of course. I shall wait a moment, please. Friendship is important.
He's so polite. I like him.
Joseph is very disturbed by Carl, but also feels like Carl is the best chance to resolve the situation and return to some sort of normalcy.
So then you go to the pantry?
Yeah, I open the pantry brandishing my umbrella.
And you find Gabe, like, almost entirely covered in that brown fluid-like substance, trying to squeeze him under the door of the pantry, and in a few moments you can tell that it's definitely going to break some bones and fit him.
I like extend my umbrella for him to grab on and like try to like leverage it in the door frame with like my body to like help pull him out.
And then is that a failed roll I see there, John?
Yeah, can I spend 47 points to get a hard success?
No, you may spend to get the success.
Really?
Can I make a strength roll to help him?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, the way that you've described it to me sounds like that he needs to, through his own power, get his hands out to grab it, and then you can help him.
Okay.
I have spent 27 points, leaving me at 26 to succeed this strength.
You can feel it like it's modern day cling wrap, where as you push against it, it becomes thin. And once you finally get a puncture on it, you can rest the rest of your arms through it and grab the umbrella. And then your strength rolls combined. Go for it, and I'll go ahead and roll mine.
Alright.
A success.
Man, I wish I could just roll directly into the in the chat thing. Roll a d100 for me, please.
I failed, but I would like to push my luck to help.
So as you, because you failed, real quick before we resolve that, you extend the umbrella. He grabs the umbrella as it's trying to capture him again, and you can tell that you don't have like quite the handle on it. And if you do this again and fail, it will extend up the umbrella and reach you.
So okay.
I'm just a 17-year-old ginger kid from this hometown. I have a life and a photography plan all ahead of me.
So
Are you gonna save me, Ben?
well, yeah. So if I push that lesson to a success, is that what happens?
If you succeed, it won't capture you.
Okay, yeah. So I push it to a success, so it won't capture me.
Okay. Are you saying that?
Because it only takes 4 points.
Got it.
Yeah. Because if I couldn't do that, my option was going to just be to drop the umbrella and write Gabe off.
So over a couple rounds, essentially, I'm going to have Gabe take 4 damage cumulatively. So just go ahead and take that 4 damage as you feel your skin burning. And as you wrest him out of it and he comes out, his skin is red like he's been in a fire somehow. At this point, Carl leaves the bottom of the stairs and he walks over to the library where Elias, Thaddeus, and Arwell is. And he looks down and he scoops up his book and he looks at all of you. Hello, Thaddeus.
Am I done having the seizure?
Yeah, you're incredibly exhausted.
Oh, sure.
So what was that assistance you were talking about earlier?
I'm going to produce that truck of cells that Cornthwaite would like to have ordered.
The thumbs up comes from Arwell.
We got an ETA on that.
I can get it here sometime tonight, but I would like my curiosities before it arrives.
Am I in the room with this, or
say again?
Am I in the room hearing this?
God, no, you're in the pantry. You're not in the library.
Okay, that's what I thought.
We are saving you from the pantry death right now.
Joseph is being a kind friend and helping Gabe. I'm waiting a moment, so I thought I would come and say hello and visit.
Sure, yeah. Take what you want. It's not my house.
That is very practical.
Yeah, right. It's like, I mean, not in a metagame sort of. It's like that is humorously practical. Arwell, I trust you enjoyed my book. Thank you very much.
It was a breed.
It's a real page turner, that.
It's gonna take like a 10-minute nap, I guess.
I suppose you guys are gonna come out of the pantry.
Yes.
Slowly.
Exhausted, panting, and stumbling across the wall for support with my now more beat up umbrella.
It's crooked and mangled, just like Joseph's gate. Carl will meet you at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay, I meet with Carl and then just kind of pantantly go.
What does Gabe
Shall we
do?
go get what you need?
I'm gonna ask, everything seemed to have gotten worse once he started to get here. To me.
So what are you
all
doing?
this, why are you here, Carl?
I told you I'm here to collect some
how did you
curiosities.
know to be here?
Because I knew that you would be. Ask Arwell, he understands.
How?
Ask Arwell, he understands. I knew that you would be here, and I'm here to collect some curiosities, and I appreciated some help. I knew that you would be in dire need. Here you are in dire need, and I would like to help.
How did you know that
I
we'd
did
be
not
here?
know that being a good Samaritan would cause such problems for you.
Yes. It does.
Joseph's shakily trying to go up the steps while this is going on.
I think Elias is gonna come up behind you and put his hands on your shoulder, and is like, "Let's not right now, Gabe." And then, can you roll?
It's
a power?
all gotten worse since he's been here.
Can you roll power, please?
Sure. Power. Fail.
Nice.
Do I have 19 points left? I do. Okay,
I
19
really
more
enjoy
points.
how much everyone decides to just throw their luck away.
I have 7 luck left. I have passed that roll.
So, you scream, everything got worse when you got here. And at that point, he looks at you, and it's like that almost cliched. He looks at you, and you can tell that he's looking through you. And he's not looking like at you in your eyes. Like, he is talking directly to the entity that calls itself Gabriel Jenkins. And you hear, not through his voice, but through your own voice, you hear a convincing argument. No, it got better. I'm going to collect my curiosities now, and soon after that you shall have a dump truck of salt. Shall we, Joseph?
I don't trust him, but I can't refute.
Joseph's like halfway up the stairs and like panting still. Yes, let's. As he like goes up another step toward the curiosity room.
I'm
Any of these particularly heavy, I can maybe help speed this up.
You're going with him upstairs? He looks at you and is like, oh, that is particularly kind. Thank you very much, Thaddeus. Yes. And he goes through and he just kind of like with his book points to various objects and it's like, I would like that one, please. And I need that one for my study of X culture, and I need that one. It has a curious chemical compound on the inside, mostly to himself. And as you like collect these things,
does he collect the strange artifact I found last time with the symbol on it?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
It seems like what he's going for is random, or at least you don't understand the qualifications of the things that he's going for.
Gotcha. Okay.
I shall, if you don't mind, Thaddeus, since you are quite capable, and I appreciate that about you, if you could set those just outside on the front porch, I shall swing by to collect them more easily, but I have to go arrange your dump truck. In the meantime, I would stay away from the basement, though you will have to open it for the salt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that is, we'll just carry them all downstairs to the porch and take a nice 20-30 steps away from the house in general. Just stand in the yard, arms crossed.
I think Carl's gonna come downstairs, and most everybody else does, and like look around and just like say goodbyes. He shakes hands with Elias, and I think if anybody wants to talk to Carl, he'll just like be a polite exchange before he leaves.
Arwell is going to stumbly get up. He's slightly more energized after the power nap.
Yeah.
Firmly shake Carl's hands, like, thank you.
He
I know what I want to do, but I don't think I can.
He shakes your hand, also firmly. It's not a contest of power. It's just like he looks at you. And he looks at you and he says something like, "It is not often that I can find someone who I could call a peer. Not that I can with you, but perhaps. I wish you well, Arwell."
Head nod as acknowledgement. I was gonna say tip the hat, but I don't have a hat. I don't think.
And he'll leave outside the house. He'll walk by. Thaddeus will see him, and he'll walk into the very overgrown garden. And just seemed to disappear.
I didn't have a tool to do it. I'm sad.
Did he give us an ETA for that truck?
Tonight. So convenient. How did he have a truck full of salt ready for us within hours?
I'm gonna wait out here for the truck.
I'm assuming that it's the salt truck that was already ordered, but the check bounced, and so he's just paying the remainder to get the delivery finished. Because to conceive of him materializing a salt truck out of thin air is too much for Joseph to handle right now.
I do not trust this Carl guy.
What are you doing, Thaddeus?
Stand outside. Just eyeing the house.
Now that you have a relative idea of what to look for with the house, especially because it has tried to attack all of you, a few moments, maybe a minute or two, enough time goes by after Carl seems to disappear into the garden that you hear the revving of an engine and headlights flashing through the garden. And if you had gone up that way or tried, you can hear a truck starting to try to approach the house through the garden. Each of you see the lights flashing as it's winding its way through the garden.
Yep. That's quick.
I don't trust it.
Joseph's just gonna take a seat on the floor of the curiosity room and just kind of, once again, just try to process everything that's happened in the last 40 minutes or so.
Are you in the curiosity room alone? No, I think Thaddeus went outside.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be with Ben's character.
Yeah, in your indecision and inability to do something to Carl, you went up to check on Joe. And what's Arwell doing?
I will just sit and waiting for this truck, and then I guess something with the salt. No one really communicated anything to me about the salt.
I think Carl said something about putting it in the basement.
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna wait.
Why do we have to put it in the basement? How does this man know these things?
So Arwell's just gonna wait for the truck and then greet the delivery driver and be like, "Thanks," and then sternly ask for the keys, I guess. We'll try to figure out something to do with the salt.
A moment later, the truck will come up and it'll park behind Thaddeus's. It is not quite a dump truck, especially not like in a hydraulic sense, but it's a big pickup truck, and it's just filled with salt. A man climbs out, and he walks up to the house as he looks out, and I think he sees Thaddeus off in the distance and kind of waves it off, and he knocks on the front door. He knocks on the front door again.
Excuse me, fella.
You come up out of behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He turns around. It's a man in a blue shirt. He's got one of those stitched on name tags that I really like. His name is Jeffrey, spelled G off. Looks at you. This is the estate, yeah?
That's correct.
Yeah, I was check just cleared, so I was sent to deliver this salt. Strange time to have it delivered, but
It's gonna go in the basement.
Are you butchers or something? That's a lot of salt back there.
Sure.
Okay, how are we gonna put it in the basement, sir?
You're the one driving the truck, fella. You tell me how that works. We open the back.
You you say that, and the door opens and Elias comes out and is like, I think there's a hatch to the basement on the outside. Can you pull it up?
Yeah, it's like a cellar door,
Yeah.
I'll go work on that hatch.
Jeffrey looks from Thaddeus to Elias, who has that everything is okay smile. Yeah, sure, okay. Which way? And Elias, it's around that way. Here, I'll go help you. And Thaddeus, you're gonna go open it. All right. Yeah, come on this way. And then Thaddeus, Elias, and Jeffrey are gonna go pull the truck up to the cellar door. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm up with Joseph.
I think Joseph would have calmed down a bit now.
Sure.
Had a few minutes of quiet without getting attacked or rescuing somebody or dealing with a strange man who knows things he shouldn't. And Joseph is going to ask Gabe for help getting back down the stairs to join the others.
Sure, I'll help.
So we all meet. Arwell, do you meet? You coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all meet outside in the dark of night with the headlights beaming in the opposite direction as he backs it up to the cellar door, and Thaddeus has managed to open it. The cellar door flaps open, and immediately inside is similar to the coal room on the inside, where there is kind of a buffer room before the cellar proper. And you open the cellar hatch, and then you can tell that there's more to go here, a door that would lead in. And if anything has proven to be one way so far, is that door might be hard to open.
Arwell's gonna try his best to open the door.
Full of salt and throw it at the door.
We're trying to open up the cellar
So you're
door,
gonna
right?
you go down the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you go down the stairs creak towards the door that leads into the cellar, where you suspect this thing might be. At least that's what Carl says, or at least believes. Wherever the house had not creaked seemed to be where it moved. And for the first time, you find a door that opens towards you. And as you reach for the handle and twist it, the door slams open and a flood of flesh mass comes out and starts trying to engulf you. Tentacles spit out in different directions. One of them grabs Jeffrey and pulls him in, and almost like Akira, you can see him fall into it. He screams sanity, everyone.
Yeah,
Rip
yeah.
Jeffrey. I did have a handful of salt ready to throw at the door.
I like that. I did hear.
I'm laughing at the image of a handful of salt
I clicked
being
it.
thrown at a flesh
I'm
mass.
waiting.
Okay, so I accidentally rolled twice.
There we go.
My
Oh
bad.
God. Louise.
If you failed, go ahead and lose yourself a D4. If you succeeded, go ahead and lose 1.
What if it's a hard pass?
You lose 1.
Okay.
I
That
lost one.
That is lucky, Gabe.
Death of 1,000 cuts.
Who has so
What is
Arwell
the
has
deal?
lost 5 already. Has anyone else finally reached that 5?
So does that count
I'm only at
what we
3.
gained? So if we've lost,
No.
so I've lost 3 overall, but I've gained 4, so I'm still net 1.
No, it doesn't count what you gain. That's entirely separate.
Mine still
Okay.
says rolling the dice. Roll 20 is just being real slow this evening for me.
Yeah,
no,
that is bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Arwell, I forgot to mention, you gained 5
Yes.
points in Cthulhu Mythos.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm so who has the
For
best
real?
Cthulhu Mythos in this group? Me. I'm the best. Now, if I just stop dying all the time, that would be better.
Can
I'm
somebody
still-
roll?
Cthulhu Mythos?
Oh wait.
Hey,
was
there we go.
3. Okay.
Is that your sanity loss?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you reached the magic threshold of 5 yet?
Four.
Oh boy! All right, you might make it out of here. Can someone else roll a D100, please, real quick?
I got it.
It's really easy when I can have you guys do that for me. 68. Okay. Yeah, that's actually okay. So Elias, like, everyone's going to startle and jump back. I imagine Gabe is just like, "Bleh," throw his salt at it. And when it does, you can see that it recedes against that, even though it has fully consumed Jeffrey. And I imagine at this point people are just trying to, like, throw salt at it, but
Is there a shovel I can use to shovel
so
salt?
exactly, like, Elias, like, looks at you and you're like, is there a shovel? And Elias looks at you, grabs you, is like, the shed now.
To the shed!
Both of you run over to the shed. What are you guys doing while they're running to the shed to grab shovels?
I guess throw salt.
I'm pulling the latch on the back of the truck. Like, it's a mountain of salt.
Yeah.
It'll fall.
Yeah,
Gravity.
exactly. Good. So it slowly starts, like, recede into the cellar, and the flesh ooze thing is coming out into the cellar to meet it like some lazy kind of lava, and the salt is pushing it back. Eventually, Gabe and Elias come back with shovels as you can hear the inside of the house crack and creak as it thrashes against the salt. You can hear the strain of glass cracking in the various windows, and I assume we're all just continuing to throw salt at it.
Yeah, Joseph
Yeah.
is ineffectually using his broken umbrella to try to, like, help shovel salt.
Do you open the umbrella and like scoop salt in and then like dump it?
So if you remember the layout of the house, I'm going to imagine that the cellar is is on the left side of the house according to these maps, and the bathroom being upstairs where faucets are, it has crashed through the windows in the upstairs and is now coming to attack you from above. What do you all do?
I shoot it.
Roll a shot. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm also shoot. towards it, I guess.
Joseph screams and opens his umbrella and hides under it.
Gabe?
I take a photo and then dive into the salt.
I succeeded on something.
Oh God, John.
You
Gabe's gonna
succeed.
fucking.
Arwell shoots up into the sky completely ineffectually. Thaddeus takes aim, shoots. It explodes the thing above you, and chunks of it rain onto Joseph and would hit Gabriel. Joseph's umbrella stops it, and would hit Gabriel, but he dives into the salt, and as the chunks of it hit the salt, seem to disintegrate slowly, and they burn. And the rest of you continue to shovel salt into it. After much time of this, and Elias is just pouring more and more salt, he runs up into the truck, turns it on again, and like backs up and tries to like shove more, just ramming the truck into the cellar door. At this point, the house is starting to crack and like twist. It falls in on itself as various tendrils are coming up all around and coming down as it slowly stops moving. In the dead of the night, after all of the different tendrils have stopped, and this strange smoke that comes from where it makes contact with salt, most of the salt is disintegrated. It seems possible that you could go towards the cellar, even though the house has collapsed in on itself, mostly on the foundation, not into the cellar. You stand, everyone, around, in a quiet night. No one remembers Carl coming back, but the curiosities aren't on the front porch anymore. Cracked to the Crook'd Manse! Yay!
Yay!
Can we do character epilogues?
Yeah, let's do it. Go for it. You can start.
All right. Joseph is very disturbed from this, and when he gets back, he spends about a week just kind of locked in his office and sleeping and eating there, because his office is where he feels safe right now, and like in control. And he takes up drinking while he's doing this, and then I feel like at some point in this he would get like he gets like a little bit better after that, and starts going out more, but he still seems like he used to be like kind of sociable and very awkward, but now he's like very distant from people completely.
Sure.
And those around him. And then I feel like at some point in this he's gonna get like a mysterious telegram, like potentially from Carl or something, because he said he would help Carl's friend in Egypt at some point.
You will not receive that, but the telegram you'll get is more of just like a general, we thank you and we appreciate your efforts, and we shall keep you in mind, especially as we move forward, things like that. It feels like an actually legitimately appreciative telegram.
Gotcha. So basically Carl, like Joseph is like more broken up on the inside, and he's like is taking that out on himself through isolation and drinking, but like after like a week or two is like back to putting on appearances that he's okay, but he's really not. That's kind of where he ends.
What happened to Arwell?
Well, Arwell spent like a week tearing through his study, basically not sleeping, barely taking care of himself to try and figure out anything about the symbol. And then after that, he starts to take more of the weird cases that he normally would shrink up, like not do, because like they were just out of place and odd. And when those shrink up, he started to go traveling a bit more across the nation and some parts of Canada and Mexico, to just figure out what the fuck the symbol is, because now he's interested. Now he needs to know what this relic is.
So I'm going to back up and say that if you're super interested in going out and like trying to find this, that's something that he will do and not something that he has done in your epilogue.
That's fair. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
so
he's now like super interested in going out and trying to discover what this is and what's going on.
Yeah, so like just cut that part out and just said like the week, and now he's taking the weird cases around town.
Yeah.
Cool.
How about Gabe? I feel like Gabe now has a new scar. It feels like he's got not all over his body, but he definitely just has like weird red marks that he didn't used to have.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. But on top of that, he spent like the next couple like days and weeks. Like, not a couple days dedicated, not leaving his room, because it's a blackout room for him to develop his photos that he's taken of all this crazy ass shit. And I feel like he takes while he's trying to develop them, he takes a sanity roll and fails that sanity roll for sure.
Okay.
And then like, do the photos show what he knows should be there?
Can you? What photos have you taken?
Allow me to go back through my history.
Yeah, give me the spark notes and the photos you've taken.
Let's see, the fence, door of the basement, picture taken of trophy room before interacting with it, photo taken of the pile of Relly, picture of the fireplace when it had the tendril coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The tendril specifically taking Joseph. Picture of the tendril trying to take me.
Picture of tendril taking Jeffrey.
Picture of tendril taking Jeffrey, and then picture of Sky Ooze.
Of Sky Ooze?
That was the one that was coming from the top when I dived in.
Yeah, all of these cumulatively will definitely make you lose sanity, and we're going to change your character in just a way. But yes, all of these do develop as you expect they would. That doesn't mean you understand what you took photos of, but there doesn't seem to be any additional distortion or oddities that you captured that you did not know about.
So it's not just like them freaking out for no reason because nothing's grabbing them. You can actually see them like being grabbed.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Okay.
And we'll go and figure out what's going on with your character in just a second. How about you, Thaddeus? How did this affect you?
Thaddeus is going to go to Arkham, visit his daughter for a couple days, and just in true to form, not say a whole lot the whole time he's there. Just spend the time. Like when Thaddeus comes to visit, he sits down in a chair and he whittles and he drinks and he smokes, and that's about it. Every conversation happens around him. And then he'll go back home and spend some time in contemplation, trying to figure out what the hell happened.
To get back to you.
And I have a minor obsession with Carl Stanford.
You also, your ideology is going to be changed from God can be found in the natural world. No, that's Thaddeus. Whoops, my bad. I pulled up the wrong one. I love what that Fangsk does in Arkham, and it's just so much like him. It's like, it's kind of sad almost, or it's like you've been through so much.
He has no emotional tools to talk about those things. So he just sits. He's like, this is how he heals, is just being in the presence of people.
You have an obsession with Carl. I'm gonna put that. The rest of your background doesn't necessarily fit with the rest of it, so you just totally have an obsession with Carl. You want to know what the fuck's going on with that. Thaddeus can't deal with this and like goes and hangs out with his daughter, and she's still there. Goes to Arkham, but very good.
Is she passing her classes?
Probably. Well, I mean, she's married. Is she allowed to go to college if she's married?
Oh, good point.
She's got to go get the MRS.
No.
What's the MRS?
The missus.
The Mrs. degree, yeah. Well, she's got that. She's married. There's just some... Which Thaddeus doesn't like that guy at all. He's just a city slicker.
An additional issue that each of you face, and will eventually resolve, it doesn't really seem to go anywhere, but it is frustrating at the time, is that the lawyers do try to sue you for the destruction of the house, because if you remember, they wanted you to keep it in good repair, and they failed to pay you because you did not produce anything they wanted and destroyed the estate that they're supposed to have.
What about the proof I show them of my photos? Do you see this shit?
They look at it, and they every time you meet with them, they now like don't talk to you because you live in that same town or at least nearby, and they're like, we don't know what you've done to doctor this. This black ooze looks a lot like overexposure, and we don't know what you've done, but we know that there is no house, and we know that we don't know where Cornthwaite is.
You see these scars, and I just like open my shirt. How can you deny these?
Every meeting.
Elias becomes incredibly intrigued and writes to each of you that like a week after this, that he is very curious about Cornthwaite has found and does not understand clearly that something is going on in South America, and that his next book will be based on something in South America, and he plans on heading that way very soon.
Cool.
Congratulations.
I'm going to turn off this creepy music now since I feel like that's done.
Oh yeah, I've had it on this whole time. It definitely made things worse. It's great.
I'm happy with it. She'll do the same thing. All right. So now that we're done, you can look at your character for any skill rolls that you have succeeded. You can try to improve that, because these characters might be NPCs. They'll might be things that you want to play in the future. These are part of the roster of Masks of Nyarlathotep. So go ahead and do some improvement rolls. The way you do that is anything that you've succeeded a skill test on, you should have put a check mark next to it. I'm sorry if I didn't explain that. So just think back. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a skill test on it. And in this time, instead of trying to roll under like a success, you want to try to roll over to prove that there's something to learn. And if you succeed in rolling over your skill, then you can roll 1d10 and add that to the skill.
Cool.
And you can only choose one to do that on? Or?
No, you do that for each of them.
Oh, for each of them? Okay.
Yep. Every one that you succeeded, you want to roll. Instead of getting under like normal, you want to get over. And if you do get over, roll 1d10, add that.
We do have our the chat does go back quite a ways. I don't know if it will go back all the way to the start of the
That
first
sounds
session.
like horror to me, trying to go all the way back.
I want all the checks.
Oh, and I thought about it, Croy. I don't. It doesn't. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, I will. Do we uncheck it whether we succeed or fail?
Yes.
Okay.
Once you attempt it, go ahead and uncheck it.
So
Also, I thought it was when
Go
we
ahead, John.
failed. Not.
So I know it doesn't fit with my backstory much, but I'm a 17-year-old that's just about to graduate.
Yeah.
So I think post-grad, my goal is to go and like learn more on who this Carl guy is. He has Egyptian connections, and this whole symbol was Egyptian. And I'm gonna try to go do photography and things of those nature that might put me in his inner circle, and to find out more about this in that area.
My next game is going to happen relatively quickly in like actual real time. So I don't think that you're going to have enough time to explore that. But in the brief time that you do have, like maybe like a couple weeks type of thing,
Sure.
you cannot find anything about a Carl. Okay.
Bothers me more.
Bothers you more. I'm sure it does. In addition to this, because this happened in late July, early August, is that right? Yep. You guys check the newspaper, and you also got this last handout from this one, which is an update on the Carlisle expedition.
How are those crazy Carlisle people doing? Okay, cool. That was fun.
Cool.
Alright, so I don't know if Roses and Thorns is definitely a thing that we want to do like every single game for every single person, but I do like the idea of a postmortem of some fashion. So
Sure.
What are other people's traditional like habits or whatever you got for that?
I have one thing.
Sure.
I'd like going forward. I know you have it up on the stream already, but I think it really helps, at least me, when we read it, to make sure that everyone's aware of what, like, the articles and such we've received. Because it's hard for me to read it while we're also continuing playing.
Oh, sure.
So, like,
yeah, I don't necessarily think that we need to read it on stream, but we can definitely take a pause and be like, all right, everybody digest this. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of folks in the RPG sphere do stars and wishes, so just some things you liked and things you want to see.
Sure.
Oh.
Which is like an altered version of Roses and Thorns, I guess.
Yeah, same basic idea. Do they do it for like each person, each game?
It's typically not done on stream. It's like a post game thing,
That's
just
fair.
among players. But
well then let's keep it. Let's do that. We'll do it on stream real quick, just so we can like have our final goodbyes, and then we'll see how we feel about it in the future. But
Yeah.
do we mind starting with Ben?
Sure. I really liked the introduction of our recurring NPC, the Carl Stanford, and I also really liked having Elias around that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And I really liked that final scene we did of just insanity with the salt truck.
Very cool.
I guess those are my stars, and then my wishes are for just a little more time to let some things set, because I feel like there was like toward the end there was a lot of stuff that just kind of happened after the other, but like that also worked pacing wise. I guess it was just because it was like a split session for like a one session thing that the pacing was weird for me.
I don't
like,
disagree.
Get into, but
I just felt, for me, specifically for Ethan, because I didn't want to make it. I'm worried that you were like bothered or not interested. Okay,
No.
good. I
was trying to keep the Thaddeus face on,
which I really liked, by the way. I really, really liked it. And in person at a real table, I bet this would bother me way less. I just didn't want to like not give people chances to do stuff. And I wanted to like, there's a couple times where like things were setting, and I'm like, but what are we doing? So I understand your point.
Yeah. Let me be clear though. I felt like I had plenty of spotlight time to do everything I wanted. So
very cool.
I guess that's all my stuff. Who else wants to go?
How about Alan, who's over there now?
Yeah. No, I was always over here, I thought.
I flip my camera back and forth depending on what I'm streaming. So I have to point different directions.
Got it. I really liked everything. Carl, yeah, I know I give great feedback. Carl felt like a weird thing to save us, and I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was just to tie us and make sure we had some characters in the roster and they're ready. But he felt a bit shoehorned in, but that's also kind of the point of his mysteriousness. So we're not going to get all the answers with that. But I really liked him overall because he was the calming voice for some of us and the damning voice for others. Wishes, I guess I want more investigation, but I guess that's kind of along the lines of what Ben said, was this was a split session, so we didn't get a lot of investigation because we got all the investigation front loaded and all the action happened now.
I'm going to be entirely transparent. I didn't finish reading this scenario all the way before I chose it and started prepping it, and I noticed that it had ties to South America, which really worked with the timeline that I made, and I'm like, fuck it, we're going to do that one. And then I finished reading it, and I'm like, this is not what I wanted. So I understand incredibly what you mean, and especially once we move forward and play much more masky things, and maybe a few other prologues, that will happen. There'll be more investigation.
Okay. And also, like, it just, I don't know if, no, that's it. That's a off-camera thing.
Okay. How about John?
Let's see. I really liked the way the house was portrayed, like as an entity, like the way it moved and literally breathed at us, and like that kept things moving. I liked the setting, like the feel of the whole session.
Sure.
Like it was all very tense and very played nicely. Wishes.
Right. If any.
Mainly, yeah, my main thing is just being like, you may not want us to read it out loud, but I'm totally cool with reading it out loud, but I definitely need a moment of just read the thing.
Dig it.
For myself.
How about you, Ethan? Did you enjoy it?
I did. It was cool. I like the portrayal of the entity was really cool, based on like just stuff that I kind of had from just Cthulhu mythos in general. That was fun. I enjoyed being this sucks, I'm just gonna stand here and be mad about it for the whole time, pretty much.
Well, that's good. I just wanted to make sure that I was not excluded.
Yeah, no.
Cool.
No, people don't know this. I'm totally cool just sitting and saying barely anything for a whole session. Like it's still enjoyable.
Okay.
Like it's great.
Very cool. I remember
And
that.
then wishes. I'm ready for our next round of characters. I'm excited to see those
Yeah.
and to see what comes of them.
Are you going to do session 0 as a group or individually?
Each group had its own session 0, and a lot of that is still in effect. And that is mostly expectations and stuff like that with masks and like topics and stuff like that. We can do it again if we feel like we need to.
I meant for character creation. Sorry.
Oh, no, absolutely not. We will. I'm not going to do a session 0 every time we make a new character because John likes to get 2 characters killed in one session. So,
That didn't happen this time.
So we did it this time, and then maybe when we start like legitimate masks, we'll do it again. But I want to try to keep it going a little bit faster. So in 2 weeks, we're going to have a new scenario, which will again be some form of prologue connected to all of this, which means I actually encourage everyone off stream or maybe a portion of the stream, we can like sit here and this is legitimately a fun part of this, I promise. Talk about all the clues you've gathered and see which ones can be connected to the thing as a whole.
Yeah, I need to ponder that later.
Carl
sure.
Stanford could be
Also,
a transformer.
I feel like for actual mass session 0, as part of that, we should do like a "Where Are They Now" segment of all the characters.
Yes, I would love that.
Like a
That'd be
Hell's
fun.
Kitchen, where are they now?
Yeah, exactly.
So with that in mind, actually, what I would like to do, I think, is actually just keep this Roll20 session because I do everything in Myro and I use the roller. That way we can have all of our characters recreate just in here. And we'll just keep using this. I think that'll work out really well for us.
Yeah.
One thing just for organization is Rob's going to get a bunch of characters, probably just label them like what session they came from, just so we have a better organization.
If you want to do that, a thing that I noticed is that someone was adding comments to stuff, and I was getting email notifications about it. Be aware, we might need to figure out how that works because you should add stuff, but I don't want to be notified every single time. I'm basically just saying
comments in Miro.
Yeah. I'm just saying this thing is going to be so cool and very useful. I'm very excited for it. This is just the initial way I gave it to you, which is by scenario. But even now, some things are starting to like connect.
Yeah, I definitely need to like look through that and like really think about it.
And I will be honest, this is entirely selfish. If people want to look at it, especially when we get into masks where it's like way more like constant, like actually relevant clues as opposed to searching through it trying to figure out what matters. Once that starts happening, that's the thing I want to be there for and just listen to people talk and figure out what's going on.
I think depending on our schedules, it might be really cool in between weeks to make like when it's relevant, not like every other week.
Yeah.
But like in between sessions, just be like, all right, guys, let's do a cork board of our Miro. Let's see what's going on. And just kind of have that discussion.
Yeah, it also wouldn't be bad just to do that as like part of the intro for one session, as each of us just sharing our crazy theories on what's happening.
Yeah, and that'll be a thing that we develop as we go. I do want to give each of you still the opportunity to write a journal on this character. So while this character might not show up for a while, if you do a journal, this character will still gain the sanity from it.
Okay.
Cool. How much sanity will I have lost when I was developing?
Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and say like 4. So just go ahead and lose 4. Which is
that would have given me a bout of sanity.
Yes, exactly. A bout of madness. And from that is what you have decided that you've become completely invested in investigating Carl.
Cool.
I really had a lot of fun. My stars, every table's different. So I just need to get more used to, like, you guys are okay with it sitting for a minute. Like, I get antsy, like, oh god, my pacing is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
I thought several times, I don't know, I'm just beating myself up. This went really well and way better than I thought it was going to, and I have you guys to thank.
Yeah, I had a great time.
This was super good. How did people like Jackson?
I like Jackson.
Jackson's
cool.
It was strange for me dealing with Jackson not half crazed and in an asylum still.
It is strange.
I haven't. He didn't seem to interact that much compared to the first session. I just don't know if that was on purpose or not.
Did you guys like Carl? I think Alan liked Carl, but he's frustrated that he liked Carl.
Yes.
I enjoyed Carl.
Cthulhu's a game where I like having like NPCs that know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like
It's
in
just
games
part
like
of the trope,
D&D,
man.
like in games like D&D, it can be too much because you're like, okay, well, I can't figure things out. But I'm like, we're not supposed to know everything. These guys should know more than us.
Yeah.
Like towards an end of a campaign, when if people have like 60 in Cthulhu Mythos, then like that's a different story. But like
I just read
right
your
now,
guys'
none of us know
comments.
anything.
Yeah, I really don't like him. He shows up in my nightmares.
Ethan, that's a good point, because yeah, like in D&D, you don't want like a Gandalf or an Elminster showing you up and being like,
Right.
Yeah.
let me lore dump on you, or like tell you what's really going on.
So
oh yeah, DM PCs are the worst.
if you want him to show up in your nightmares, I'm gonna mention that you never remember them, but you are aware that you have conversations with him in your nightmares, and that's super frustrating because you can never remember what was actually said. It's like a snowflake in your hand,
Okay.
as dreams be. Ethan says rip on this guy. All right. I think that's it for me. I hope you guys watching had fun. I have a blast doing this, and I hope to have more. Our next scheduled game is the 19th. Are 29th. That's a 2, not a 1. 29th. Are people good with that?
I should be.
Yeah, I have no reason not to.
Perfect. All right. Then that's going to be it for us. I'm going to swing this over to the ending. Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.